afternoon and thank you. Welcome very much. My name is May Anderson and I volunteer as Chairman of Art Outreach. You are in our space and I just want to show you, let me just brag a little bit about my fantastic team. Colin Wan is our General Manager and Chief Creative and General Dog's Body. Sun over there in that cool Coke shirt is our intern, filming everybody. We have Fang Ting and Melinda at the back, beautiful young ladies who are helping us, interns as well. Hazel on the camera here is our creative content manager, and Dina is our community programs manager. She manages this space that we let artists use for free. But the stars of the show, or the launch, are coming up. Can I start with Charmaine Chen? Charmaine? Yeah. And then Wu Yanrong. So Charmaine, you stand near your wall, and then Yanrong, not near, just okay. And then Yanrong here, and then Wan Xiang, yeah? Okay. Okay, so maybe, I'm always getting cued by my team, so you want them in the center a little bit more, right? Come over here. Okay, so these guys have been, amazing, hard at work, and my team has done interviews of them already, but I think Thursday there was another more in-depth interview, so it's not going to be sort of like a panel discussion today. Today, I want to tell you about the program. You're going to hear from them as to their experience here, and we want it to be more of a dialogue. We want to hear from you guys, okay? So it's going to be more like a chit-chat, and then there's more wine, and there's a whole spread of cheese and bits and bobs later on, okay? So today is for a time for you to ask what you want to ask, and really, we love the theme that we kind of jointly came up with these three, the theme of Nourish. I'm going to start off by saying that this program was meant to nourish, enable, and support artists. We noticed that artists rarely have a chance to do large-scale works. In fact, I met an artist that said, my work is as big as my desk in the room in my parents' home, which is very common for all of us, right? So we have these walls, and there's also a thought of like, gee, art is not the most sustainable kind of industry sometimes, right? A lot of things get made, exhibitions, as a lot of waste. So we wanted to kind of layer in different kinds of impact, getting artists a chance to paint on large-scale walls, photographing them in high resolution and offering them as prints, so there's a recurring income stream for the artists. We never take a cut or when we offer a year-long program to use this space. We have 20 shows a year, and in fact, we give artists a small little $500 token when they use our space. This one, however, we're acting like their agents, so we take a small portion of the sales because we do the marketing and we do the printing and we do the deliveries. But it's not easy to find artists who are willing to take time out of their lives, which means take a break from their salaried job sometimes, right? To spend time on these walls and to take risks. I think these guys took a big leap of faith to trust us and to hang out with us and take this risk with us, and I wanted to thank you for that. So with that, can I just present them with a little token of appreciation? Thank you. There's Fang Ting kind of coming up on her cue. So I don't know how many of you know this, but for us, these little chicken essence things, yeah, are the epitome of Nourish, because for some reason during exam time in Singapore, it's like my mom doesn't have to kind of, nourish my brain, but only during exam time on the morning of my exam, this thing comes out. It's good for you, make you smarter. I'm like, okay, a bit late now, Mom, but okay. So in that sentiment, we hope that the chicken essence embodies the essence of what we, hey, give me a break lah, must be like that lah, I know it's a bit corny, but it embodies sort of how we feel, about how we've enjoyed working with you. So for you, and wait, one minute, and that, and this, must be hokey, and then we have the interns and we have Hazel making little cards, little funny puns for you. You are officially the best. Yeah. And no one stacks up to you, my dear. Yeah. And can we have a photo of these guys? All right. Okay, so yes, so the theme of Nourish, you want to just put this down? So, sorry, can I? Yes, you want to just put it all there? So the theme of Nourish is not just about food, but about what gives us sustenance and what makes us feel safe and cared for. And I want you to hear from them about their experience spending time here and taking a little bit of I guess, an adventure out of the usual commission work, the usual pieces that you guys do. Shall I kind of mix things up? Because I always start with, Charmaine, let me start with you, Wan Xiang. You know, here, you want yeah.
Sorry, the question?
Is, you know, your reflections on your time here, you know, doing something quite different.
I think for me, it's not my first mural piece, but it's my first piece that I guess allowed me to, you know, use the space quite liberally. So I think having like my friends, you know, my partner over here to just even eat in the space, to just paint in the space, like, and then having my friends saying like, oh, actually quite therapeutic, like when they were just painting some of the pieces. Even my friend's child came and he kind of, the ends that you see at the front, like they were done by him. And then I thought like that participatory aspect was, I guess, quite nourishing for me, yeah.
So since I have you on the mic, and I'm sorry, we have to use the mic because we're recording this so that it gets into the recording. Can you maybe tell us a bit about the artwork since you're at it?
So my piece is titled When a Tree Falls. Actually, this was kind of inspired by like a little conversation with a friend who told me about the concept of whale fall, like meaning there are like critters at the bottom of the sea who only get to see a dead whale. Like whales don't go so deep, I guess. Y'all can fact check this. So it's true, according to Yanrong, it's true. Yeah, so what you see here is a very imagined, like playful scape of like kind of like a fallen tree or like tree stumps, which is like a host for like an extremely like complex and diverse, like, you know, diverse, what am I saying? An extremely complex and diverse like community of like bugs and critters and fungi and moss and lichen and what have you, which I see it as like a very like non-binary rojak of things that are usually hidden, and I kind of want to give them space to play and be on a wall and be celebrated, yeah.
And we love that because for us, sort of the underlying, sometimes unknown and unseen, supportive networks, the threads that tie things together, I think it's beautifully expressed in this work. So we really enjoyed your interpretation of Nourish.
Thank you.
Great. You wanna, yeah. And let me put you on the spot, you know, Yanrong, and maybe you can share a little bit with us.
My work, yeah. My work is about familiar affection that, through the ritual of consuming fish, it's considered a delicacy in many cultures and used for, served during special occasions, particularly Chinese ones like mine. Fish is really something that you only eat like once in a while. And in a lot of Asian families, you know, the act of speaking, saying I love you verbally is very difficult. So, you know, parents or even like kids, whoever your siblings, they tend to give the best parts, the special parts to who they care about as an unspoken act of love. And, you know, I really like that because that's the same thing that is for my own family. And I hope that my piece is able to, you know, invoke reflection on how food itself foster love, unity, and respect. And yeah, regarding being able to paint like this size, it's not maybe my biggest one, but the first time where it's not a commercial project. You know, commercial is always like time, you need to be fast, you need to be a certain way. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to be able to paint 6 weeks, which is a really, really long time. And it's not too high where I need a scaffolding. I'm able to step back, paint, and really ponder about like the textures and move forward with how I used to do things on the wall and off the wall, on the paper, yeah. So, yeah, it's a very interesting process, and of course painting with both of them is very nice.
Great. So before we go to Charmaine, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about what we observed, okay? They are very, very different styles, right? So, you know, when Wan Xiang comes, you know, they are very cool, kind of rock up, put out some chairs, sit down with their friends, with their partner, look at the wall, eat a few things, whisper to each other, and then like start, you know, sort of very methodically filling up the walls, very rapidly also, by the way, very, very productive. Then sit back again, and then the friends will deliver food and drinks, and then ponder again, and then work. It's quite lovely. It's like a rhythm, really like a little hive of activity, literally. This one is a cool customer, right? You know, Yanrong comes and then she kind of stands like this. I see her like this all the time because I can see everybody to the CCTV, right? So Auntie May is like, so she stands there like this. Then she walks up and down, and then ready, she fills the aluminum tray with like paint. You know, it's some kind of process. And then she takes the broom and then she kind of like whack. Then she steps back again and like, okay, I'm done. And then she leaves, right? And a few days later, she comes back and then like whack. So it's really amazing. Now this little one over here wheels in an entire studio. You will see a photo somewhere. But she sets up this very, very, very full-on tables, shelves, like there were drawers, there were all kinds of things, brought in this like, I don't know, massive scaffold. And the amount, I mean, there maybe were like 300 items all over her, you know. So we were a little nervous because we were like, holy shit, is she ever gonna leave? You know, she looks like she's a permanent tenant here. But we loved it. There's a lot of thinking, and she was the one that kept coming to all of us, you know, with ideas, with like, what do you think? And, you know, that piece came about in the most beautiful way. And we were surprised to hear that she's never even tried these techniques before. So go ahead.
Sorry.
Is it green? Let's go up, yeah, okay.
Sorry. Hello? Hi, everyone. So the piece I did is titled Pie in the Sky. And actually, when I started painting it, I knew where I wanted to get to, but I wasn't sure how I was going to get there. I knew that I wanted to build layers in the wall, textures in the wall, staining in the wall, basically because having that tactile experience of touching these walls is what got me into sign painting. It's what made me realize that there's a human behind these letters, these shapes, the pictorials. There's history behind that sign, the human who went and did that sign, and so much more. So yeah, I kind of went back to basics and highlighted all the things that, basically all the things that I'm afraid of painting. And yeah, I'm very thankful for this space in Art Outreach to get to experiment that and try and see what my work looks like when you take the client out of the picture. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did.
So we have their hashtags on their Instagram on the wall back there. And, you know, Charmaine is a sign painter. Literally what you think it is, painting signs on glass, on things. So if you want to just check out her work, you know, 'cause I always show her work when we show this because it's hard to imagine what a sign painter does. So old world underscore charm, yeah? Okay, so now you guys, right? Why don't we hear from you guys? And you know, you've heard what they intended to do and how they did it. And it would be nice to have a bit of a chit chat, a dialogue. And we can walk around and not look like we're prisoners against the wall here. But anyone wants to start off with any questions for them? Or just a comment, or some of you have seen the previous edition of Off the Wall, right? With the 3 other artists. And some of you who have seen it and enjoyed it came back as volunteers, and thank you very much for being a volunteer with us. But anyone wants to ask a question? The first one is always very hard, so someone start us off. Anyone? Yes. Yes. Can I give you, yeah.
Mic test. Mic test.
Yeah.
Can I ask about the fish? I see that you have quite a lot of calligraphic training experience. How many of those techniques are you able to translate to a big work like this?
Thanks for asking your questions. It's not technically Chinese calligraphy. I think a lot of masters will kill me if I say that. It's just the act of being more expressive. My background is in Chinese calligraphy, and it's not just the words, but the painting. So when I were to venture into watercolor, how I uses the paint, the brushes is more similar to a Eastern style of painting rather than a Western style of painting. And I prefer, in Chinese they say 草, which is more organic and expressive than the very clean one. In my previous interview with the rest, I was saying that I had to learn how to tone down and refine my work because I was too 草 before, and that came from my graphic design background. So it's a mix of both, starting from something that is more organic and raw, and bring in my graphic design knowledge to polish them and refine them. That result in this, I guess. Yeah. Hope that answers your questions.
Anyone else for a question? Thank you for that. Anyone else wants to? Yes.
Hello. So any moments where you guys felt stuck and like had to improvise like on the spot?
Yeah, start was her default setting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean like all through them.
So, did you have to improvise on the spot? Did you feel stuck at any point? Do you want to start and then?
Yeah. So with everything actually, I tried using the projector first. I messed up the sizing with the projector 3 times. And then I went back to the old traditional method, which was making huge pounce patterns and putting it up physically on the wall, transferring it on the wall with charcoal. And then that worked for me. So, yeah. Yeah, it's like a giant roll of paper that your work is printed to size or drawn to size, and then I use a pounce wheel, which creates holes and perforates the paper, and then I use powder and I transfer the pattern onto the wall through those holes. So I realized that maybe my brain is just a little bit more analog, and yeah, I went back to the old way.
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that question because the artist before tried to use more using a projector and tracing. And you know, this old world is a good word for you because she seems to like that more laborious, you know, old school technique, but it worked really well. Yeah.
I guess with my broom works, they are like one shot. I have to make it work. If not, I don't know. So I'll get stuck trying to create like the effect that I want to. But with such things, it's very unpredictable. That's why if you look at the CCTV, I'll be just circling around. And I do, you know, get into a headspace where it's a balance of panic and peace. The panic is so that I can kickstart this broom work. The peace is so that, like, at the moment, I'm able to make a decision whether this is, for example, if I were to make this first stroke, what do I need to complement it so that it fits well within the entire artwork? So I wouldn't say getting stuck, but there's a lot of pondering and making decision mentally and preparing myself. I don't think I can make any mistakes, but perhaps it's about, you know, going ahead with it and seeing how I can make the best out of it, going around it. If, let's say, perhaps this is not exactly what I want to go for, because it's not wide enough. I feel that, like, okay, then maybe I could add something like this, or even the bottom one is not enough, but I'm able to complement it with something that is a bolder stroke done out of brush. Yeah.
For my piece, because I used pastels to, add like textures and colors to the plywood creatures, I couldn't quite plan them beforehand because when I had this like design on the iPad, like digital and analog, they are just so different. So the sensation of just feeling like the plywood, like grains, the colors that I had, and how they interact with each other, and then after spraying them and fixing them, is so different. I was maybe not stuck, but I was just worried as to whether it was visually too much for my mural, but somehow it still worked out as a balance between what was very textured and also what's very clean. So I think I only wish I could go weirder. I think that
I wanted to ask you about that because when Wan Xiang first painted this, I was like, oh my God, it's giving like Miami vibes, the green and the pink. And she's like, wait, I think they wanted a sort of alien-scape about it, a sense of surreal, sort of like, and there's this wonderful little critter that clearly is not in the taxonomy of insects in this world. Do you want to talk about some of these very interesting pieces?
Yeah, so actually I'm very curious about what people feel about it. Like, so I've heard comments where they really like it, they thought it was a slug. They are like, oh my God, I'm so drawn to the eyes. And then I've like also heard like it gives people the ick. So it's like, I like how like my work could, create this kind of interaction. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to show you, so the program is, these things are going to come off the wall, right? And people are like, what? But that's the way it is. It is going to come off on Tuesday. We're going to slap paint, and the walls are going to be returned to white for the next artist. And I wanted to have Hazel and Melinda come up and show you, we will take photographs in high resolution. And here are some very close crops of their work. For example, you will have a chance, of course, if you want to buy the entire mural, but some of these really show you the technique of the artist, I feel, and it's just very interesting when you see, I guess it's a metaphor, right? When you look very close, it's a whole different thing. You wouldn't even realize it's part of this wonderful fish. And again, this really kind of blown out version of Charmaine's pie. And more importantly, showing the kind of close-up work that she did with the compound and all that textual stuff. But thank you very much. So with that, I think I'm not going to make you sit for too long because the artists are here, and you might want to talk to them, and you might want to think about getting a print. We hope that when people are furnishing their homes and office and everything, they think about a print, even if it's not from this program, not all of us can afford a work, even if it's a $3,000 or $4,000 work, right? I mean, forget much more than that. But a print starting at, I don't know, $50, $60, $70 is approachable. Sometimes people say, this doesn't fit my thing, but I'm going to give this. We had a friend, actually, this doctor who buys a bottle of champagne for his clients and his stakeholders. And when he saw the program, he says, forget champagne, I'm going to give everybody a print. And that's really nice. So if you can't pick up a print yourself, spread the word. It's going to be online, and we'll be so grateful if you could spread the word out about this little program that enables others. When we take a small cut of the percentage, it goes into all our other programs as well, because we are a non-profit, and we have been a non-profit since we started 21 years ago. So welcome again to Art Outreach, welcome again to the program, and welcome to drinks. And if you just go around the office, there's a lot of food on that table. So please feel nourished, and please continue to follow our programs. And I reserve my warmest and most sincere gratitude to the three of you who partnered us, who trusted us, and you got to come back, right? You're family now, okay? Thank you very much, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.